The courtroom report that Assistant U.S. Attorney Emily Johnson read out loud the text that Diddy reportedly sent to Cassie Ventura after an altercation in a hotel in 2016.
That nearly every celebrity in the world has been to his homes or has been to his events.
But clearly he was doing it for his own jollies too. There was something sick about it.
She said there were more than 100 people at that party, including at least 4 celebrities. But this, what you're talking about now, was a threesome, and that's something that the U.S. Attorney even referenced.
Diddy's bail has just been denied after Assistant U.S. Attorney Emily Johnson exposed Diddy's text messages to Cassie, and you are not going to believe what Diddy was doing to Cassie. With new allegations piling up against Diddy surrounding his abuse of minors and blackmailing of U.S. presidents, this story just keeps getting worse and worse. What did Diddy say to Cassie, and why is Diddy trying to silence victims? Stay with us as we peel back the layers and take a deeper look at what was happening behind the scenes on one of the darkest sexual abuse rings in Hollywood.
The courtroom report that Assistant U.S. Attorney Emily Johnson read out loud the text that Diddy reportedly sent to Cassie Ventura after an altercation in a hotel in 2016. She references security video of the event that went public, showing Diddy hitting his then-girlfriend in a hotel hallway. The text from Diddy at the time read, quote, "Call me, the cops are here. I got 6 kids. Yo, please call, I'm surrounded. You gonna abandon me all alone?" The Assistant U.S. Attorney argues in court that, quote, the defendant knew he had done something that could elicit police response.
Following the release of the now viral video of Sean Diddy Combs assaulting his ex-girlfriend Cassie, Diddy issued an apology video where he confessed to assaulting Cassie and said he was sorry. Allegedly, these text messages were sent after Diddy assaulted Cassie, and cops showed up at his door.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life, but sometimes you gotta do that. I was fucked up. I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it, I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy, and go into rehab. Had to ask God for His mercy and grace. I'm so sorry. But I'm committed to be a better man each and every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness. Truly sorry.
Arrests have finally started in connection to the sex trafficking ring that Diddy ran. With the ex-CEO of Abercrombie & Fitch, Mike Jeffries, a multi-millionaire now on his way to prison, everyone connected to Diddy is worried about what might happen to them. Allegedly, Ashton Kutcher is preparing to testify while Ellen DeGeneres has actually escaped to England. What were these celebrities doing that was so terrifying that they had to run away? And is it all going to become public soon?
That nearly every celebrity in the world has been to his homes or has been to his events.
Stop by. It's an invitation to all of America. I'm only joking. No, I wouldn't do that if I was you.
Just because you've been to Diddy's home or been to his parties does not mean that you are complicit in criminal activity. Now, does it mean that we may see celebrities come up on video footage from his home or in photos? All that evidence you would imagine will be presented in court if and when there is a trial. It's that question of everyone knew, but what did they know? And, with Diddy, here's what I have pointed out, what I'll say. Not a single celebrity has come out to defend Diddy. Not one.
Combs has pleaded not guilty. And now we're learning more details about the raid that went down here at Diddy's 17,000 square foot, $61.5 million mansion. Prosecutors revealed they actually found 6 guns in his California and Florida mansions.
Details about the abuse that Diddy carried out not only to minors, but even to his own family, is finally coming out, and each story is more disgusting than the last. With rumors that Diddy was grooming his own son to actual video evidence, of Diddy sexually abusing minors, now in the hands of the FBI. It looks like time is running out for Diddy. Allegations of abuse also detail how Mike Jeffries, a man in control of an international sex trafficking ring, would allegedly inject men with medicine so they could get erections even if they were unwilling to participate.
The former boss of the fashion giant Abercrombie & Fitch and his British partner have been arrested on charges of running a prostitution and international sex trafficking business following a 2-year-long BBC investigation. The FBI began looking into the claims that Mike Jeffries and his partner Matthew Smith sexually exploited and abused men at events they hosted in their New York residences and hotels around the world. Lawyers for both men and a third man who's been arrested have previously denied any wrongdoing. They'll appear in court on Friday. Rhianna Croxford broke the story that led to the FBI's initial investigation. Here's her report.
Mike Jeffries, the mogul behind a global fashion brand. His vision made billions for Abercrombie & Fitch. He's now facing criminal charges.
To anyone who thinks they can exploit and coerce others by using the so-called casting couch system, this case should serve as a warning. Prepare to trade that couch for a bed in federal prison.
They began their own investigation. This morning, the FBI arrested the former fashion boss and his British partner in Florida. Evidence gathered by the BBC found there was a highly organised operation involving this middleman, James Jacobson, now also arrested. In the past few months, I've spoken with more men who attended these events, 20 in total. Some told me they were tricked and abused, others that they were injected with drugs. A lawyer for Mr. Jeffries told the BBC, "We will respond in detail to the allegations after the indictment is unsealed and when appropriate, but plan to do so in the courthouse, not the media." Tonight, Mike Jeffries was released on bail. If convicted, he and the others accused could face life in prison.
Elon Musk, the richest man on the planet, has also talked about some of the biggest names in the world having connections to Diddy. And with celebrities coming out to support Diddy, despite all the evidence against him, it does seem true that everyone will go down if Diddy goes down. In a recent episode of the Joe Rogan podcast, Elon Musk argued that the ties Diddy has with Kamala Harris passing day, more and more evidence is coming out against Diddy, and by now, at least 9 verified tapes have been handed over to the FBI. Courtney Burgess is one of the people responsible for handing over tapes to the FBI in a federal investigation, and allegedly the tapes that Courtney has were given to him by Diddy's ex-wife, Kim Porter. Courtney even claims that the flash drives he has provided to the FBI have written confessions from Kim Porter that she witnessed what Diddy was doing was illegal.
And those statements include descriptions of what the witness says he saw on those tapes. So I asked him about that, and he answered what he could, given the limitations imposed on him after testifying before the grand jury. Out of those 8 videos, 8 celebrities, 6 men and 2 women, how many of those 8 celebrities were close to being underage or potentially underage?
2 males.
2 males. And of those 8 celebrities, how many of them were intoxicated or under the influence of drugs?
This is going to be all speculation. I just want to preface it by he wouldn't know if they were. Right.
Sure.
Appear to be.
Let me rephrase it.
Based on, yes.
Understand. Out of the 8 celebrities who were recorded having intimate relations with Sean Combs, how many of them appeared to be either inebriated or intoxicated or under the influence of drugs?
All of them. All of them.
Out of those 8, how many appear to be potentially victimized? How many might have been victimizing?
I think all, to be honest, all.
Were victims
They
or
victims.
were perpetrating?
Victims.
They were all 8 were victimized.
Yeah.
Meaning
Victim.
this was happening to them and they were inebriated.
Right. Not knowing, I guess, how much proof it was in it, what they was doing.
And of those 8, how many seemed to be potentially minors?
2 to 3, possibly 3.
Other tapes that are currently in the possession of TMZ. Harvey Levine, the head producer at TMZ, has alleged that he has actually seen the tapes that were leaked, and they clearly show Diddy abusing minors. Diddy's party planner, TAA Wallace, has also come out as a witness and corroborated the story. Everyone close to Diddy is turning on him because they know that Diddy can't escape now, and this is the best opportunity they will ever have to escape him.
And I want to start with TAA Wallace, who claims she's been at a freak-off and said she saw children, and it was hard for her to say it.
It was very hard for her to say it, Ashley. So what she said was that she was flown out from LA to Miami by the Saudi prince. And they ended up eventually on Star Island at one of Diddy's parties. She says, you know, among many other things, I mean, she goes into detail. This, she says, happened in 2018. She says that she walked into the house and there was a cluster of adults around what she described as little people. And they were dressed up as Japanese Barbies. I forgot the name. It's Harak something. You can help me out here. It's a certain type of Barbie. Anyway.
I know the name, but I've forgotten it. But go ahead.
So she explained that that they were just clustered around these little people. And I kept pushing her. And she eventually said, look, they are little people who should not be at an adult party. And I pushed her, and it was apparent what she was saying is they were minors. Now, she didn't see anything specific that was going on with them other than that adults were kind of huddled around them. But she told just a wild story about what was going on at the house, even at 7 in the morning, that this thing apparently raged all night long.
You know, it's amazing. TMZ always gets such great scoops, and this one might be one of your best as well. You got a hold of one of the freak-off tapes. Your producers have seen it. The description is, and I'll quote, "It's porn directed by Diddy himself."
According to Harvey, the upper management at TMZ has handed over the tape they found to the FBI. And allegedly, this tape contains footage of a threesome that involved minors, which are now A-list celebrities. One name keeps cropping up again and again when Diddy and minors are discussed, and that is Justin Bieber, who unfortunately has been confirmed to be a Diddy victim by Courtney Burgess.
And a male sex worker really sort of walks through what happened in the experiences that he had. They didn't sound illegal, but they sure seem to comport with a lot of the other stories that have been told.
Yeah, so this was a threesome. What you would ask me about earlier about TAA Wallace, she said there were more than 100 people at that party, including at least 4 celebrities. But this, what you're talking about now, was a threesome, and that's something that the U.S. attorney even referenced, and his lawyer in an earlier documentary we did. He was describing threesomes. He says it was all consensual. So yes, what we're told is that this male sex worker was flown out to various locations over a couple of years: Miami, New York, Los Angeles, and one other. And they would meet in hotel rooms, and Diddy would often watch as he would have sex with this woman who was associated with Diddy. So that seems to be what the feds are looking at right now in terms of alleged sex trafficking, if they are transporting somebody and perhaps paying them to cross state lines. That could end up being part of sex trafficking. Now, we know that this guy got a subpoena and he ended up not testifying before the grand jury, but talking to prosecutors. And we're told that he left that tape with them.
And in fact, if he was transported, if he was even consensual in that setup, you're right, that is sex trafficking. It's classic federal crime to cross state lines for the purpose of selling But it also comports just with the description of many of the other incidents that did sound illegal, where there was, heavy intoxication involved.
The evidence against Diddy is mounting, and with over 200 victims coming forward in an explosive public trial, the fallout could shake America to its core. According to Gene Deal, Diddy's ex-bodyguard, the cover-up involves not just celebrities, athletes, and music producers, but even presidents and British royalty. If Diddy goes down, he might take everyone with him.
We intend to name people in these lawsuits. We're not going to do it in interviews. We're not going to do it, without doing our due diligence, because obviously, these types of allegations are very hurtful to people if they're not true, and very hurtful, frankly, if they are true. But if they're true, you shouldn't have been in the room and you shouldn't have been participating. So I anticipate that we're going to start filing lawsuits, and it may not be big names at first, but we have a long list of names, and you might imagine in situations like this that when a victim tells us that this person was in the room or this person participated, we want to do as much due diligence as humanly possible before we file that case, because in the United States, in almost every state, public filings are in fact public, and when you name somebody in a lawsuit, the press is going to pick it up, and we're aware of that. So we're going to make sure that we dot our I's and cross our T's, and I expect that there will be some people named in these lawsuits that will raise some eyebrows.
Diddy's abuse of minors involved coercion, manipulation, and even blackmail. As confirmed by the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, Damian Williams, Diddy would use drugs like meth, GHB, and cocaine, along with threats of violence to get minors to say yes. If Diddy knew that a minor would refuse, he would spike their drink and abuse them while they were unconscious. The indictment against Diddy details all these crimes, painting a horrifying picture of systematic abuse and exploitation.
The wall of silence has now been broken, and victims are coming forward. Our team has had at this point more than 3,285 individuals contact us, with people claiming to have been victimized by Sean Combs. After vetting, we now represent 120 individuals who intend to bring civil claims in civil court against Sean Diddy Combs, as well as claims against many other individuals and entities that we will name as defendants as we file these individual cases. They fear backlash in their communities. They fear backlash in their own families. They are afraid of retaliation from the perpetrators and their associates. They are rightly afraid for their own personal safety. I expect that through this process, many powerful people will be exposed. Many dirty secrets will be revealed. We know what we are potentially up against. And as is always the case in situations like this when a celebrity is involved. That being said, as stated, we are vetting every call that we receive. We have had to turn away some. For each, we ask for corroboration. For each, we ask for the identity of witnesses. We also have collected pictures, videos, texts. We check venues, we check dates. We want to corroborate that the claims being made have legitimacy and merit. We have on staff now a former detective from the Major Offenders Unit of Houston Police Department who is helping us vet. There are 60 males and 60 females who have joined us to pursue these claims as plaintiffs. In this group, 62% identify as African American, 30% are white, and the remainder are Hispanic or Asian. The victims are from more than 25 states. The majority are from California, New York, Georgia, and Florida. I don't want to focus of these victims. When we talk about the ages of the victims when the conduct occurred, it's shocking. Our youngest victim at the time of the occurrence was 9 years old. We have an individual who was 14 years old. We have one who was 15. 25 of the 120 individuals who are plaintiffs in these cases were minors at the time of the acts complained of. The time frame of the acts complained of is very wide. The conduct at issue spans from the years 1991 all the way till this year, 2024. If you wonder why there are so many alleged victims, that's your answer. We're talking about more than 25 years of this type of conduct.
Allegedly, Diddy is still trying to silence and pressure victims, and that's why his bail was denied. A leaked phone call between Diddy and his son, Christian Combs, also revealed that Diddy had unfinished business that he was having his son take care of. Diddy is a dangerous person, and even the judge knows that if Diddy steps out, he's going to do whatever he can to keep the victims quiet. Why do you think so many people are speaking out against Diddy now? They know that Diddy can't hurt them now.
Oh, Diddy bail being denied for a second time?
Bruh, if you look at and you read the indictment and you read what the judge said, the first judge said that you knew in March when they did the raid in your house, you know, correct me if I'm wrong again, when they did a raid on his house, he knew that he had to go into court sometimes, right? He knew he had to go to court sometimes. It was gonna be a time you gotta go in court. What was he doing during that period of time? Still going to a few little places, party and stuff like that. I ain't telling the man, you know how to run his life and everything like that. But steady using drugs. Even when the feds caught them, they caught drugs on his person and drugs in his room, right? So now he goes in front of the first judge. The judge was like, yo, your lawyers can't handle you. You had plenty enough time to clean yourself up and start doing the right thing. So I can't give you bail. You sitting up here, you done made 100 and some calls to this one girl that could be a potential witness. They said that you done blew up somebody's car. What I look like giving you a bail? So now what people don't understand, why would they lawyer go to another judge? Which is crazy to me. They think another judge is gonna give them bail because they said, I'm gonna give you 50 million, 100 million, all like that. No, they not gonna fight against each other when none of your circumstances had changed the first time. Your first bail, you show that you ain't do nothing, and you still had the ability to be threatening to witnesses. You still drugged out of your mind. And I think they said they may have found pink cocaine. I told you cocaine is a hell of a drug, bro. It done brought a lot of people down. A lot of people down. And I don't give a F, but I feel sorry for somebody I know that didn't use drugs. And now he losing his whole empire. And it's got to do with who he is as a person, but them drugs sure changed him and effed him up. Because he thought that those people was gonna give him bail because he was rich. Nah, a lot of rich people still go to jail. Not like we do, but they still go to jail, especially when they got them like that and the attention, the bad press and the bad attention that he's been.
Diddy has a history of blackmail and coercion, and it's how he operated the sex trafficking ring he ran. According to Gene Deal, one of the closest sources to Diddy right now, Diddy would record videotapes of guests, get them drugged, and then use incriminating footage to keep them under his thumb. When you're in a position like Diddy, leverage is how you control everyone.
The friends he have and nobody came out.
They brand. It's all about the money. They saw what he did to Cassie. With the kicking, the punching. They saw what they did to Cassie. They know that nobody in America liked that. So now, these people are represented by a brand. Whether it's something about the music, clothing, movies, they not gonna come out and speak on nothing that has anything to do with them, and they praying that they not on the tape doing crazy stuff, being oiled up in the whole 9 yards. They praying. So until the feds say, hey, yo, listen here. We got you on, hey, buddy, we got you on this tape, and girl looked like she was pretty young. We're not gonna show it, but we need you to come and testify against Brother Love, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, you know, Sean Combs. That's when they're gonna start talking. And they're not gonna be talking in his favor. When the feds come to them and show them what they got on tape, because if he had 250 tapes all over, 250 cameras all over the house, somebody got caught stealing a cookie out the cookie jar. It could be your favorite pastor. It could be your favorite politician. But they didn't think they was being watched, and Brother Love was watching.
Yeah, I mean, TD Jakes, he haven't even came out and said anything. And him and Diddy was real cool.
Amen. Amen. Yeah, man. And I know the people in the congregation over there is shaking in their boots because this man then led them probably, allegedly led them to damnation, because those people's hearts are gonna be broken if that man is seen on those tapes doing anything. Because people always put their faith in the pastor instead of putting their faith in God. And what they need to do is understand that he's just a man.
Allegedly, if Diddy ends up being sentenced, there's a big chance that Diddy will try to harm himself. Pedophiles don't last long in prison, and for someone like Diddy, who reportedly abused 7-year-olds, prison is going to be even harder. There are even rumors that Diddy might end up like Jeffre Epstein.
It's the #1 cause of death statistically in the prison system. In order for him to get on suicide watch, he just can't say, I'm gonna commit suicide. You know, that helps. But he has to go through he has to have a psych evaluation. He has to, the correction officer, they had to monitor him and see what he has, you know, we've been doing. Has he been crying all night? You know, those are some of the criterias. You know, saying that you're gonna commit suicide, crying all night, doing some kind of self-mutilation, or trying to harm yourself, because everybody think because you were on suicide watch, you're in a good situation. Once they put you in suicide watch, bruh, you gotta go to a cell, like a padded cell, by yourself with very little or no clothes on. You understand what I'm saying? So that suicide watch, when I heard it didn't, I wasn't surprised. You know, somebody who lived in mansions, travel all over the world, somebody who could go into any hotel, have any and everything at his beck and call. Now he's in a room that's a 10 by 10, if that, a cell. Bruh, if he was gonna commit suicide and he was on the outside doing those city college days, just imagine what he's gonna do or try to do while he's in prison and he don't have his cell phone, he don't have no maids, you understand? The correction officers who's making about 40, 50,000, or, you know, if you're starting, you know, cussing them out, telling them all kinds of shit. And the inmates, everybody talking crazy to him because what he done. He might think it's better off to commit suicide than to be in a situation like that, bro. It might be better off to commit suicide to him.
With over 200 victims stepping forward, damning tapes in FBI custody, and even those closest to him turning against him, it seems Diddy's reign of terror is nearing its end. But the bigger question remains: who else will be exposed in this tangled web of power and corruption?